I love this new bulk create feature in Canva. For this purpose, we're going to be creating title transitions, which is basically a graphic that pops up. And when you're talking about, say, like in this case, we're doing 17 facts about Colorado Springs. And these are going to be text transitions. They're going to come up on the screen while I'm talking. And so it's just a really nice way to boost engagement so that people stay on your video longer. When your videos are organized and cohesive and easy to follow, people tend to watch longer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the YouTube size, which is 16 by 9. If you just type in video or YouTube thumbnail, you'll be able to pull up the 1920 by 1080 pixels. But this is how you get it through the app. And you do have to have the pro account, I believe, at this time to be able to do this. So you're going to hit bulk create. I'm going to go in and manually enter my data. So basically I wrote a script, and the script was the 17 facts about Colorado Springs. And so I've labeled out each fact. And so I'm just going to go ahead and type in each one. I copied and paste, but you can do a CSV file upload as well if you have it in a spreadsheet. For me, it was just easier to put it in here instead of in the other place as well. So the Memorial Park was my first title. So I want that to be my title. And then it's going to be number 1 because it's the very first one that I start with, and it just goes in order all the way down. So now I've typed all of that in. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add my text box. And that first one was Memorial Park. And then I'm just going to size it pretty big. I like it to fill up the whole screen. So that's going to be our first one. And then I also like to add a transition. So we're going to animate this guy. And my favorite one, you can go through and look and see which one of these you like. I like the typewriter. I also like to add a little bit of sound to the typewriter. You can use the sound audio here to add sound. Might be a little bit more advanced and maybe something we do in another tutorial because we're just focusing on the title slides. Here's the typewriter one. I like for that to pop up while I'm talking about this specific chapter or topic. And then I also like to add a little bit of animation in the background, and I like to use the white paper because it's trendy, it's nice and clean, it just adds a little more pop and engagement for people. Again, the goal is to have people stay on your video as long as possible. So now we're going to just play this and make sure that we like it. So Memorial Park. All right, so now I'm just going to go in and make sure that this is okay. I like the way that it types in like that. If you want to make the text a little bit slower, then you could just go in here and adjust the speed. I like to have it just a little bit, and with character or word, you can just adjust those settings as needed. So just going to play it back one more time, Memorial Park. And then that's pretty much it for that one. So now we have our template to set the foundation for all of the rest of these slides. So now we need to just tell Canva what this is going to be. Let's go back to the app section. Click on bulk create. Now, the one benefit of having the CSV file is if it for some reason deletes all of your stuff, it's just easy enough to just re-upload. Whereas if you enter it manually, if you accidentally delete it, it just disappears. Something to keep in mind. So now we have Memorial Park and we want to connect the data. This is going to be the title of the video. And let's just stretch this out so that it has enough room for the longer text. All right. And I forgot to add the number. So we're going to go back and add another heading. And this is going to be number 1. And we're going to just make it bigger and kind of make it look nice. So have it centered. Number 1. And this is still animated as typewriter. This one, let's just see how it looks without. Okay. I think I'm okay with that. So now that we have that centered really nicely, we're going to right click this and connect the data for this to be the number. All right. So let's play it back quick. All right. So that is our transition title text overlay. Now I just want to go back to the bulk create data and go back to the information. If you want to right click, you can always delete and add insert rows, copy paste, and things like that. You can add text with this button. It'll just add another one. If you've added too many, right click and delete. And then if you want to add an image, you can add an image here and select it. So say like you have pictures that you want to go with each slide, where I'm just using a generic white paper video background. You can add the image here. Just click the plus sign, and then it's going to pull up all of the folders that you have. So make sure that you organize your pictures inside folders. And maybe you can organize this as list video, YouTube, photos, or however you want to name it. So I'm not doing either of those. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this and then click done. All right. So now we've told the system Canva that what we want to go in each box. We're just going to go ahead and hit continue on the bottom left. You want to make sure that you generate all 17 pages correctly, and it's going to do its thing. And so just like that, it just creates all of the text up here. Now, one thing I did forget to do is do the period. You'll have to go back into bulk create to make sure that you put that in the data table. But I think this came out really nice. You just got to go through and make sure that each, like this is just too big of text. So I'm just going to shrink it down. But I do want it to be consistent with where it sits. So we're going to go to the next one, resort towns, same thing here, and just kind of clean up the ones that didn't come out right. And then you just need to make sure that I do these. It would be just in the data table where I was putting all those numbers. And then if that's something that you like the way it looks, then you can go ahead and export. A really cool thing that you can also do is if you want to make sure that everything looks good from a distance, like I'm noticing this one, still missing that period. So I can add that in and then just go back to this grid view and just go over, make sure everything's spelled correctly, everything is spaced the way that you want it to be spaced. And yeah, so that grid view here is fantastic. But you can use this download pages as separate files, and then it'll download everything individually, which is really nice.